Hi and welcome back. We have a very, very special surprise for you today. So yesterday a friend of mine texted me and was like, hey, are you doing a video for Fat Tuesday? And I thought, that is a great idea. Unfortunately, I did not want to be that predictive. So instead, I'm doing a video for Still Fat Wednesday. In honor of Still Fat Wednesday, we're going to go ahead and make a New Orleans classic. It is the Hurricane. Now, the story goes is that back in the 30s, 40s, the distributors were trying to unload a bunch of rum at the time because nobody really wanted it. So what they would force bar owners to do is buy a bunch of rum before they'd even start selling the liquors that people wanted. And Pat O'Brien ended up with a bunch of rum that nobody wanted and couldn't figure out how to do it, how to get rid of it. So he decided, hey, if I make a really, really strong drink and then cover it up with a bunch of sweetness, I can unload all of this rum on some unsuspecting drinkers. And honestly, I have never felt so seen in my life. I wish I could have been there at the time. So we're going to go ahead and make that today. There is one hitch. A key ingredient of that original drink was a Fashionola syrup. Unfortunately, that doesn't exist. There are some companies that have tried to recreate it. Not really sure if they've done a good job of it or not. I'm not about to go out and buy a syrup just for a drink that uses a lot of rum because, well, I make plenty of those anyways. It's supposed to taste kind of like High C. Not really sure, but we're going to go with a version that I found online. There are a lot of different versions on there. This is one we're going to use. A lot of times on the online versions, you're going to see them say 2 ounces of white rum, 2 ounces of dark rum. Those don't mean a whole lot. For something like this, I'd really, really recommend you just use like 2 ounces of Bacardi and then like 2 ounces of Whalers rum because you're really not trying to get the best quality of the rum. I don't, believe it or not, happen to have either of those. So for today, we're going to use 2 ounces of Surfrider rum as our white. And 2 ounces of that. Oh, hopefully I got 2 ounces. And then for fun, we're going to go ahead and use 2 ounces of Plantation Original Dark double-aged rum. This should be a very good one. A lot of the recipes will tell you to use a passion fruit juice. For the recipe that we're going with today, we're going to use 2 ounces of passion fruit syrup. So it'll be really sweet and syrupy. Bonus point for this, I'm happening to use one that you're supposed to dilute, and I'm not going to do it. You know, just because they tell you to dilute your syrups doesn't mean you have to do it. You go the extra mile. You do you a little bit. Boo. We're going to use a ounce of fresh squoze lime juice if we have it. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Squeeze. Dump that in. And then a bar spoonful of simple syrup, which I did not grab. But we will use, that's optional, you know, all this stuff is optional. But we will use a bar spoonful of grenadine just to kind of give it that color. Give it a nice little shake. I used a little bit of a trick here. I just put 2 small cubes of ice in there. So I can go ahead and just shake that. If I had more time, wasn't doing a video, I'd actually shake until I heard the ice quick clinking to be fully melted, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it into a Hurricane glass filled with crushed ice already. So I just need this to be kind of cold. I don't feel like straining it. I don't really need to strain or dilute it. I just need to get it kind of cold and that air just to kind of get what little fruit juice I have kind of oxygenated and frothy. Frothy. Pour that in. Oh, it has a pretty color, a pretty syrup and fake flavor color. Take your straw, pop it in there. Hopefully that's a little bit of sugary sweetness. Oh wow. Yeah, you can definitely, well, if they weren't this cold, you could definitely pound about like 15 of these in an hour and see where that goes. That'll be good for you. That'll really let the good times roll. This is a delicious drink. Cheers.